Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week.
This week, members of Alabama's Lee County Sheriff's Department announced that they are looking for the culprits behind a bizarre case of graveyard vandalism at the Flint Hill Cemetery. According to reports, the grave of Samuel Jones, who was buried in the cemetery in 1882, was found destroyed and dug up on Monday. Jones is one of the first known settlers in Lee County. Though police say they have dealt with cases of vandalism at the cemetery before, those incidents have usually been minor. In this instance, the stone slab from the grave was broken and removed, and the grave was entirely cleared out. Authorities say that they are not sure if any remains were actually removed, but that a large amount of soil appeared to have been excavated. They believe that whoever was responsible might have been searching for valuables buried with the body, but that it is unlikely any such valuables would have been found. They also said that due to the extent of the damage, the culprits could be looking at 2 different Class C felony charges if caught. The Lee County Cemetery Preservation Commission said that they would also be seeking restitution for the destruction of the gravesite.
On Friday, representatives from the Weld County Sheriff's Department in Colorado announced that they had made an arrest in the 41-year-old cold case murder of 29-year-old Evelyn K. Day. On the night of November 26, 1979, Evelyn disappeared while working as a business lab monitor at Ames Community College in Greeley, Colorado. She was last seen by a student on the campus at approximately 10 p.m. in her car as she was locking up for the night. When she failed to return home, she was reported missing by her husband. The next afternoon, Evelyn's lifeless body was discovered in her red Datsun station wagon, which had been parked at the side of the road just southwest of the college campus. She had been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled to death. Though the initial investigation proved unsuccessful, police were able to collect the killer's DNA using a sexual assault examination kit. When the case was reopened in May of 2020, that DNA was checked against the National CODIS database, leading investigators to a 64-year-old Kansas man named James Herman Dye. Dye is a convicted felon who has a lengthy criminal history in both Kansas and Colorado. He was also enrolled as a student at the community college at the time of Evelyn's murder. Dye was arrested at his home in Wichita on Monday, thanks to a joint operation between Weld County Sheriffs, Wichita Police, and the FBI. He has now been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, one for each of the 2 different theories of the case.
On Monday, representatives from the Hamilton County Coroner's Office announced that they had positively identified a corpse hidden in a Cincinnati home as missing 19-year-old Dominic Allen. Allen was last seen on September 26, 2020 at a friend's house, but wasn't reported missing by his mother, Kenya Stallworth, until 10 days later. A search of the local area failed to turn up any signs of him. Then in December, police received a call from Stallworth's husband, Robert Robb, who said that he had discovered what he believed to be a body in Dominic's room. The body had been concealed under a pile of dirty clothes and was badly decomposed. Authorities arrested Robb and Stallworth and charged them with gross abuse of a corpse, saying that they believed the couple had intentionally hidden the body while allowing it to decay. Stallworth was also charged with tampering with evidence. Dominic's remains were positively identified through DNA evidence, and the case is still being actively investigated as a homicide.
A United States Postal Service mail carrier is facing charges after she allegedly stole a credit card from her postal route to pay for plastic surgery. According to reports, the crime was first discovered in September of 2019, when a Queens resident received a credit card statement with an $8,000 charge from a medical clinic called Long Island Plastic Surgery. The resident called his bank to inform them that he had neither authorized the charge nor had he ever received the credit card in the first place. The charge was eventually traced back to 31-year-old Shakira Small, a mail carrier for the USPS. Small had used a fraudulent driver's license at the clinic and had used the stolen card to pay for the bulk of the procedure, but was caught because she had used a credit card tied to her credit union account to pay for an earlier consultation appointment. Small later admitted to investigators that this was not the first time she had stolen credit cards on her postal route, and that she would often hand the stolen envelopes off to an acquaintance. She is now facing numerous charges, including identity theft and grand larceny. If convicted, she could be looking at up to 7 years in prison.
This week, police in Missouri say that they're hoping to bring closure to the family of Mengshi Ji, a missing Columbia woman who disappeared in October of 2019. According to reports, skeletal remains believed to be Ji's were found on Thursday by a hiker in Rockbridge Memorial State Park. Ji's husband, Joseph Elledge, had already been arrested and charged with her murder in February of 2020, but until now, the location of the body had been unknown. Ji's remains were discovered in an isolated wooded area of the park, roughly 30 feet from the road. Though a positive DNA identification has yet to be made, investigators have revealed that several items belonging to Ji were found at the scene, including her driver's license, credit and bank cards, and articles of clothing. In addition to the first-degree murder charge, Elledge faces charges of child abuse, child endangerment, and third-degree domestic assault in connection to a separate case. It is unclear whether investigators plan to add additional charges related to Ji's murder.
Police in Baltimore County say that the man behind Sunday's deadly shooting at a Maryland convenience store also killed his parents and set his apartment on fire before taking his own life. Investigators were first alerted to the crimes shortly before 7 a.m. when they received a call about a shooting at the Royal Farms convenience store and gas station. 3 people had been shot inside, 2 of them fatally. 15 minutes later, they received another call about a fire at a nearby apartment complex. The suspect, 27-year-old Joshua Green, was found dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound in his vehicle in the parking lot of the complex. The bodies of Green's parents were later discovered in their home in an unincorporated part of Baltimore County called Baldwin. They also reportedly died from gunshot wounds, though it was not clear when they had been killed. On Sunday night, police released Green's name and stated that they believed he was linked to all 3 of the violent incidents. No possible motive has yet been released for the killings. Police say that the 3rd person injured in the convenience store shooting is recovering at a local hospital, but at the time of this recording, their name and condition has not yet been released.
Police in Virginia Beach say that they are currently investigating a series of chaotic and deadly shootings that took place near the city's oceanfront on Friday night. According to reports, the incidents began when police were called to the scene of the first shooting, which is alleged to have occurred after 2 groups of people got into a fight on Atlantic Avenue. As police were investigating that altercation, a second unrelated shooting occurred just after 11 p.m., killing 1 person and wounding several others. The victim has since been identified as 28-year-old Deshayla Harris, one of the stars of season 17 of the reality TV show Bad Girls Club. While police were investigating the scene, an officer confronted an armed citizen nearby, leading to a 3rd shooting. The citizen was killed in the confrontation and has since been identified as 25-year-old Donovan Lynch. At the time of this recording, it is not clear how Lynch was connected to the shooting that killed Harris. The officer involved did not have his body cam on at the time the incident took place and has since been placed on administrative leave. At the current time, the chaotic and confusing situation is still developing, and police say that they do not have many concrete answers to offer the public yet. Several people who were wounded in the shootings have already been discharged from the hospital, but it has been reported that at least 4 more remain in serious condition.
Police in Vancouver say that they are currently investigating a mass stabbing attack that occurred in the north of the city on Saturday afternoon, leaving 1 person dead and 6 others injured. According to reports, the incident began at approximately 1:45 p.m., when 28-year-old Yannick Bandaogo began stabbing people inside the Lynn Valley Public Library. He then moved outside and continued to attack others. By the time he was subdued, he had turned the knife on himself, though he has since undergone surgery and has been returned to police custody. At the time of this recording, investigators have not announced any of the victims' names, but say that the person that died as a result of the attack was a woman in her late 20s. The other 6 victims reportedly suffered injuries of varying severity, but are all expected to survive. So far, Bandaogo has only been charged with a single count of second-degree murder. However, it is expected that additional charges will soon be laid. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.